Hi, YouTube. I want to talk about why I no longer want to go to Africa. All my life, I wanted to go to Africa because it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. The people are beautiful. The country is, it's just wealth. I wanted to specifically go to Nigeria. I wanted to go to Ghana. I had some American friends from Ghana. I have some American friends from Nigeria. And I just believe it's a beautiful place. From what I've seen, it's just beautiful. And they have beaches and, museums there. And then, my ancestors, some of my ancestors are from there. And I always just dreamed of going to Africa, but that's no longer a dream of mine. One reason why, because of, what is it called? FGM, female genital mutilation. I've heard about that many years ago. I've even talked to some families that had members of their family that underwent the procedure. But for years, I always thought it was like just third world countries, the poor, the real isolated parts of Africa, where they're undeveloped and they don't have anything else to do but mutilate people's genitals. That is not funny, but I'm serious. I just thought it was like limited to certain parts of Africa, and I was like, well, as long as I don't go to Pacific places, which I imagine, and honestly, that I probably wouldn't have anything to worry about because I'm American and I'm there visiting. But over the years, I realized that no, this is practiced. Female genital mutilation is practiced in like some of the major parts of Africa. It's practiced in Nigeria, it's practiced in Ghana, it's practiced in, Ethiopia, it's practiced in South Africa. And so, in all honesty, I'm not worried about being mistaken for one of the natives and somebody performing a procedure on me. But it seems to be such a barbaric practice that I don't even want to be around people that condone it. I saw some YouTube videos. I read a documentary where a young lady, she had been saving herself for her husband, and her husband sent for her, and she went through the torture of trying to have sex after, spending her life after having this procedure done to her as a young girl. And so trying to consummate the marriage was actually torture. And then she had to go to a doctor to be cut. And then she had to, after being cut, she had to engage in painful relations with her husband once again to stay open. I'm like, why is society like that? Or at least why is their society like that? Why would you want to why would you want to cut away something that God has perfected? It's like, and then it should be an uprising about it. You hear about women, young girls running away from the country, seeking asylum, and it's just, I don't see, just so inhumane. And to me, it's like to be around anyone, especially a hold, where basically the ones that's in power anyway, that condone such inhumane activity. It's like, now I don't even want to be around people that has the ability to be that barbaric. And and we can say what we want about America. People they badmouth America, And but at the same time, they climbing they crawling under the wall, they climbing over the fence to get here. But America is, I mean, and it has its faults. I mean, I'm pretty sure that if God let me live, I'm gonna be doing videos about different problems that we're having here in America. But America preserve a lot of standards that other countries have not adapted. America surpassed, Africa, surpassed China. America has done better than most countries for a reason. One thing is because we're based on Christianity. We're getting away from it. We're getting far away from Christianity. Our government was formed on Christianity. Actually, our government was created on Christianity. And you can say what you want about America, and I know about, well, they say, well, you used to be a slave. No, I never was a slave. My mother was not a slave. My grandmother was not a slave. My great-grandmother was not a slave, nor was my great-grandfather. But ancestors were slaves. African-American ancestors were slaves. But the reason why we were slaves, because they wanted to build this country. And African-Americans suited the bill better because of our skin color. Because of our skin color, we were easy to keep in captivity. We're easier to keep track of, and we were a strong race. Strong race of people that was able to withstand the hardship of carving out America. But with that being said, there's a lot of good qualities about America. Our government was built. People used to come to America to work, to help build this country. And while they were helping to build this country, now some people were forced to come to America, like the African American ancestors. But other people from all over the world, from Europe, Italy, that is Europe, but from Europe, Canada, India, and everywhere, people used to come from all over the world to America to make money, while they helped build the country. Now, because of the military and all these shady backdoor activity that America has going on, people primarily come to America to sell their drugs. And that's just the truth. And that's why this country is taking a nosedive into the next Great Depression, because we have so many people here that taking advantage of the system. They don't bring anything to the table but drugs, and they are they're benefiting from the resources that the government have for our society, but they haven't paid into it. See, ideally, the things that people take from the government is just a fraction of, was supposed to be just a fraction of what you put into it. Like myself, for instance, I've worked, you're supposed to work 20 years before you can retire and receive retirement benefits. Okay, I've worked basically more than 30 years. So when I withdraw from the system, it's not like I'm taking more than I gave. And that's the way it was set up. You're supposed to give more to the government than you take, so we can keep developing our country, keep making public accommodations for society, libraries, shelters for the homeless, food pantries, and not just welfare type of thing, but just so America can keep growing, so we can have paved roads, so we can have interstates, so we can have the public bus transportation, and so that is why you pay into the system. And people that understand economy, and the American economy particularly, they understand that. and they understand why you're supposed to pay your taxes. Why are you supposed to go to work while you're able to? When you're able to go to work, you're supposed to go to work, or own your own business. You're supposed to be doing something to benefit society so you can sustain your family. And then when you get too old to work, or if you become disabled, or you have an accident or whatever, then the government provides for you. And so that is the way to make it oversimplified, that is how the American economy was developed. It was developed to do just that. But now we have just people from everywhere swimming over here, running over here, driving over here, flying over here in the, just all kind of ways, hiding in trucks and everything to get here. And they're not putting anything, they haven't put anything into the system. Half of them haven't put anything into the system, but they're taken out of the system. And then the other half is just the only thing they bring to America is drugs. So if you have America and you have Mexico and you have Africa and you have Europe and you have India and you have China, and all of these people are here, not the individual, but I'm talking about as a whole, the country. And all they're doing is supplying America with drugs. So you're going to have a drug-based country. And so it's only a matter of time. And we've reached that time. I mean, that's why we see America falling apart. I mean, it has operated under this false pretense for many, many years now, maybe close to 100 years now, and it can no longer sustain the lie that America, the military, has allowed other people, from other countries, to unlawfully come here and drain the resources from our government, and only thing they bring to the country is drugs. So now we have a bunch of drug addicts. We have more drug dealers, or just as many drug dealers as we do drug addicts. We have companies that cannot compete with the illegal drug economy. And so we have businesses closing. People are unemployed in mass numbers, and people are losing houses and everything. So, I mean, it's a domino effect. And which everyone should do what they can to prepare. I'm not saying everyone should downsize and go off grid, but you should do something, because America has already taken a turn for the worse. The media, let's face it, the media is just, for the most part, the media is just a prostitute with a camera. They will do anything, anyone, whatever the highest bidder tell them to say or do. So to know the truth, you really need to observe for yourself. Notice what's going on in America. When they started building, I'll give you an example. When they started building prisons, large number of prisons in, I believe it was Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. Can you guess why they built all those prisons? That's right, because they anticipate on putting people in those prisons. Now, some major cities are building single occupancy apartments. They're building apartments for single people, where only one person can live in a small room about the size of a large walk-in closet. But these buildings are going up everywhere. Why? Because people can no longer, can no longer afford to live in houses the way we have always been accustomed to doing. People can no longer afford to live in houses. Young people today can't live the way their parents used to live. They can't afford it because jobs don't support it. We don't have jobs because jobs can't compete with the drug economy, the illegal drug economy. So just prepare and pay attention, because when everything hits the fan, you won't be able to say you wasn't warned. You won't be able to say, I mean, these people that moving in tiny homes, everyone is not doing it just to be cute. Everyone is not doing it because it's the latest trend. It's the economy. And so you have to pay attention for yourself. You can't rely on totally on the media. Okay, you take care, you two.